Hello, this is WellArmedWithTacos, and welcome to another Heroes of the Storm video. I am playing Tychus, and some of you
defeat the tamed every time.
I'm in.
Just let them finish talking there. Some of you might notice I'm not wearing my Zerg-infested Tychus skin. A lot of you might be aware that I have it. This is because I've been in the mood to play typical Tychus. I've never actually been that big of a fan of the infested skin Tychus. I don't like the theme of him being Zerg infested, but the reason I use it, the only reason I ever got it was because I like to play heroes as canonically as I can. And the Zerg-infested Tychus is more canonical than a regular Tychus, because regular Tychus is quite dead. Oh, hello. I didn't even bother to look at their team comp. Speaking of infested Tychus, there he is. The regular Tychus is quite dead. He died at the end of Wings of Liberty. And this game explains that I don't think it outright confirms it, but it suggests, and it's very possible that once he died on the planet they were on, the Zerg took him over. I mean, it's a reasonable thing to suspect that could happen, and that's why I have that skin. For that reason, I might one day pick up the Ghost Kerrigan skin, because she's canonically free of Zerg again. Also, Nazebo needs help. I'm going bottom. Usually they do 2 mid in this map, but I guess not today, AI. So, I've been in the mood to play regular Tychus because I've always liked Tychus's badass attitude. I mean, he's a badass, you know that. He's a cigar smoking. I was gonna say, like, trying to think of a badass. I don't know, like I'm trying to think of drink, you know, like I don't want to just say drink swelling, but I guess it's accurate. I lost my description there. I was not doing a very good job of making him sound badass, but cigar smoking, drink swelling, near you well, bounty hunting badass. Well, actually, I don't know how much bounty hunting he's done, but I imagine he's done a fair bit. He's a ne'er-do-well though. He's cool, and I like all his new things he says whenever you make him do things like they did to all heroes. I haven't played the regular skin since then, so when I was playing it the other day, I didn't been listening to them. I like the whole shut up and die. And as you can see down there at the bottom, that is another big reason why I'm testing out Tychus again. Also, they only have 1 tank, and it's kind of a squishy one, so I'm taking Master Assassin instead of the reduced minigun cooldown. Tychus got some big nerfs lately. Let's call them what they are. They are nerfs. They took the 1 healing ability he had, which is that's the stuff, and just nerfed it to hell. Also, I need to be careful fighting myself like that. I'm used to taking people down as Tychus at low health, but that's also Tychus, which means we do the same amount of damage, and in a straight up fight, if I go in with less health, I'm probably going to lose.
Sure thing.
I am actually going to Hearth at this hit point, and
Getting a little dicey out here.
bump my microphone there, I'm sorry. I can talk to my party member here. It's the truth. Tychus doesn't have any self-healing now. I think he might. He had first aid down the line at some point, but they've taken that away. They took no. Makes sense. Quarterback.
Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Yeah, he's no healing now, and the way Blizzard explained it is one of their typical "this is a horrible excuse and you know it" kind of things. They said they were unhappy with how much damage Tychus was doing to other assassins, that he was too comparable to other assassins, and that they said that made him too picked for a overall kind of draft. Like he was good against any selection of heroes. So they nerfed his healing and they nerfed his range because they wanted to shove him back into his niche role of only being good against warriors. And there's a big problem with that theory. That in MOBAs, it's generally advised, in most instances, you're supposed to try to ignore the tank in favor of hurting other people. You're supposed to attack and kill more important people and then move on to the tank. Like, you're supposed to start with the healers or the assassins and then move on to the tank. I say that's typically because there are cases where the tank becomes priority number one. There are certain comps where the tank's overwhelming amount of CC can really win over fights, and the comp is so squishy without that warrior, that without that tank, they just crumble. So you've got like 4 super squishy assassins and a Muradin. If you drop that Muradin first, and the thing is, in Heroes of the Storm, even the tank heroes are so squishy that you can drop a Muradin relatively quickly with enough dedicated damage. If you take him out, the other team members can't do anything. So I'm just trying to provide a basic example. There are times where you want to drop warriors first, but typically it's healers and the assassins. So every assassin's role in the game, everyone's role, not just assassins, everyone's role in the game is to make sure that they kill the other people in the proper order. That's how you win fights, by having that kind of teamwork. And Tychus is an assassin at the end of the day. His job needs to be killing the important... Oh, crap baskets. The Zevo might have just saved my own skin there. I can do this and try to convince him to go away from me. Whoa, move out of that scythe. Run! Oh, I walked into something bad there.
That was good.
I was going to use the fountain, but now I'm just going to hearth. But anyways, like I was saying, his job as an assassin is to be the damage dealer, to kill the important people in the party, and to do that job, he needs to be able to compare with other assassins. It was a good thing. Like, I won't argue that Tychus was over or underpowered. That's not the purpose of my argument here, though in my opinion he was and still is underpowered. My argument is he needs to be balanced against other assassins, because other assassins are who he's supposed to be killing. That's what he needs to be doing. Warriors should come afterwards in most instances. I said this on Twitter, and I'll say it again here because I believe it's the best possible way to explain it. Tychus's job, in capital letters J-O-B, was to kill other assassins. Tychus's gimmick was that he is slightly more suited against warriors than other assassins. That was his gimmick, his quirk. Also, everyone is not here. I'm totally overextending. I'm going to back off. Tychus's gimmick is that he did a little bit more damage to warrior characters, to beefier heroes. That was his gimmick, not his job, not his role. And Blizzard just doesn't seem to understand that he needs to be able to hurt other assassins. That's been one of Tychus's issues since release, since his base design is he doesn't have a lot of burst, and in Heroes, burst really matters when it comes to being a damage character. Burst is the key. So that's kind of always held him back, and I just don't think Blizzard acknowledges that he needs to be able to kill other assassins. That's why you take him. Every hero should have a place on every comp in an ideal balance situation. There are extreme outlier characters like Murky and Abathur who are way more specialized, but Tychus shouldn't be one of those characters. You shouldn't be screwed if you've got a Tychus on your team and they don't have a warrior. That shouldn't be how it is. Players shouldn't have to go, oh great, they don't have a warrior, so that Tychus player is useless. I wish we had any other assassin. Tychus is better against warriors than most assassins comparatively, but that shouldn't be all he exists to do. I've been ranting about that for quite a few minutes now, I'm sure. I am unhappy with the Tychus changes, but I'm unhappy with most changes. They nerfed Malfurion again. because screw Malfurion players, I guess. And they buffed Varian because Varian needed it. Oh, and they did the thing to Varian that they do with Rhaegar. Varian's one of his talents was a stun. His charge turns into a stun instead of a slow, and it's at a bracket where it's one of two choices. Most people pick the stun because it's a click stun. It's no skill shot or anything. You just click and you stun somebody. It had a huge lead over the other one in picks because again everyone was taking it. It makes sense. So what does Blizzard do? They turn around and they change it from a stun to an 85% slow, and it's like, why bother? It's an 85% slow. He's gonna get you anyways. It's practically no different from a stun. The only difference between an 85% slow and a straight up stun is you might be able, you can still cast abilities if you have an 85% slow, but unless your abilities provide escape, you're still equally screwed. If you're Tychus, for example, an 85% slow and a stun from Varian mean the same thing to you. Your grenade, which you can throw, is not going to get him far enough away from you, and running gun is not going to get you far enough away from him. He's gonna catch you, and if you're not prepared, you're gonna die. I compare it to Rhaegar because Rhaegar's got one of those too. He's got a talent that increases the slow on his totem to something ridiculous. And I say the same thing. It's like, why just make it a root? Call it what it frickin' is. It's a root. Also, hello, Varian. Arthas. How you doing, Arthas? Run away. Yeah, I saw you were gonna do that. I'm gonna go heal because I have no healing. This is a dangerous health point to be at. I really miss the old Tychus. Back original day Tychus, when his trait ability wasn't an activation. It was your attack speed gains over time because it was a minigun that revved up. Made sense. I liked that, and it allowed Tychus to have this ability to. He was just a more generalized assassin, is what I'm trying to say, when he had the base attack speed boost. Because it wasn't something that did damage based on health. It was just your attack speed goes up over time. I can understand why some people may have not liked it, because if you're not in a fight for very long, or when a fight first starts, it is slowing you. You're not doing as much damage, but it's something that builds up over time. Other characters have talents like that are things that add up over time. League had characters like that. Graves, I remember, I don't know if this is accurate now, but Graves, he had stats that boosted, I think it was his armor, that went up over time the longer he was engaged in combat. Tychus was sort of the same way. Tychus was one of those heroes that you walk down the lane and you make sure you shoot walls and everything. Like that. Vala, for Pete's sake, is that. Vala is that. The longer you shoot things, the more your damage goes up. Until I choose otherwise. Tychus was better in those days. Well, more entertaining to play. I can't say he was better in terms of usability. Tychus has always been on the low end of the scale since I've been playing, which was day one launch. I don't know if he was better in the beta or alpha, but I don't want to walk with this Zol. Not even with a gazebo. Are we gonna get boss or not? I guess we're gonna go top and help Johanna. Maybe I can try to scare the Tychus off. My kill.
Just 'cause you're handsome don't mean you can fight like me.
That would make more sense if it were the original skin Tychus. You can tell that line is just programmed for him fighting himself. I've been thinking about picking up Master Skin Tychus, because again, I've been in the mood to just play his default skin, to hear him just be badass instead of just be like, oh, praise the swarm and whatnot. Also, I did not mean to charge in there, and I need to back out. This is a dangerous place to be. Fire the dang gun. Thank you. I'm gonna hearth. Because the nearest temple is all the way down there. By temple, I mean healing fountain. If there was one up there, I'd go touched it. But I'm not going all the way down there just to get healed. Let's go get the temple. Let's go get the temple. Also, let us take big red button. Not like there'll be 60 more seconds, but I am top hero damage right under Johanna. Huh. Didn't expect to be competing in hero damage against the Johanna. Also, I didn't expect to be top damage against the Lunar and Valera anyways. I've noticed. Maybe I haven't been encountering a lot of good Valera players lately, but every time I've looked at Valera's actual damage, she just seems to be... I think like she suffers from Nova Syndrome, where most players just play her to deal the killing blow and don't actually go in and deal damage like you're supposed to. I've seen Nova players who can do a huge amount of damage. I've also seen Nova players who do nothing but do like 10k damage at the end of the match, just hoping all that 10k damage resulted in kills. Where are you two going? You three going? Well, I placed top hero damage and 0 deaths and 9 kills.
Victorious.
I do my best. Whoop.
How unexpected.
I do the best with what I got, which isn't that much. Alright. Thank you all for watching. I think this video went on long enough not to substitute another, but I'll go check. See you all later, and bye-bye.